course, is the water park, right?
Yes, the Waterloo. No, it is not the Waterloo.
No. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay.
But good movie, and one of the best time travel movies I think I've seen. Now we're gonna go through the sheet here that I have displayed. You all got your own character, but mine is right here on the sheet. We're all going to start with +3 head, +3 body, and +3 weapon. And we're going to start in the farmhouse here, and we're going to make an attempt either to go right into the French lines or right into the coalition lines. As you go across the page, you'll see there's a enemy fire grid. It's not like the spaceship game where just random holes are being plugged in it. Whenever we face anything, we're going to face them in either line formation for the coalition, and that's going to be 12 units, or we're going to face column, which is going to be 12 units, but they're going to start in 4 rows as opposed to 6 rows. Our awareness at the moment is infantry. Only the infantry units that we're fighting are fully aware that we shouldn't be there. And that can change to cavalry, where the scouts have now scouted us. Finally, the artillery will start to notice that we're there and start taking pot shots at us. And then eventually the 2 commanders will know that we're in the game. And that has a corresponding -1, -2, -3 def mod. So let's stay away from those. We have
just
3
real
aces.
quick.
Go ahead.
Like you said, it's the sheet you're displaying. The only thing I see right now is the hex crawl. Is the hexes. I don't see any sheets or anything like that. You didn't share anything.
How about if I could? Wow, you guys need to be in Waterloo. How about if I put you in Waterloo? Did that help?
There we go. Oh, yes. That's much better. Yes. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Okay. That's all right.
At least we can. We won't see much of the problem there as we go on. So you start with your 3 aces, just like all the OSR rules. We're going to watch our enemy awareness level slowly reach commander. We're going to move around the battlefield, and we're going to attack Cook and Alton or Pajol and the Young Guard. And we have all of our unmanned vehicles right here as a collective. That's the spot that they're sort of in and out of. Now, the only other thing that we need to look at is right up here at the top with the United States Marine Corps Arsenal, Command Arsenal, is occasionally the game is going to give us one of these 15 items, and we hold these collectively as a group. And we could get that grenade launcher, and the grenade launcher will allow us to kill all the units that surround us. We could get this shotgun, which gives us the Fury. We could get a Sig Sauer or a K-bar. Both of those can be used to cancel the other aspect of the game, which makes things more difficult, is we started with the best gear, the current equipment on head, shoulders, and firearm of the Marine Corps. But as we adventure, we're going to find that those are going to slowly digress or regress to where suddenly we don't have the standard issue at the moment, which I think is an M17. We're going to go back to the M16, and then we're going to go back to the Garand, and then we can end up with a Brown Bess musket if we roll poor enough. So the Time Lord has brought us here. We have a test. There's always this sort of bar bet amongst grognards of whether or not a Marine Corps company could actually win the Battle of Waterloo. In this case, we're going to fight on both sides because we don't have any friends here. And again, we have that command arsenal. So like all of these OSR games, the first flip of the game is going to be big and little. I might as well start it. And it's going to be a 24. So I go down into the rules here to 24. And let me get to use my table of contents. Skirmishers. Oh, we hate that. No, it's a 2-4. It's a setback. So Astro, the company loses one of the Marine operators on the autonomous attack UAS. Okay. Well, at least it's not our evacuation team. So I'm going to take a red pen here. And autonomous AS, I'm going to take Lopez. Sadly, Lopez has become a casualty of war. And I go over to Rusty. Give me a big and little die roll, Rusty.
All right.
And before we do that, Rusty, I'm going to have you be the deciding 1-4 is great. Deciding factor. Are we going to move toward Ney or Riley or Williams or Cook? And if we get to Napoleon, He's the person we suspect as being the Time Lord, and then we're going to roll a die to determine whether or not Napoleon actually was the Time Lord or if it's somebody else on the battlefield. Nay, if we attack Nay, for the moment, our awareness level is going to jump to command, and that's going to be -3 on our dice rolls. But we are +3 at the moment. If we go to Riley or William or Cook, we're going to go into the battle with a huge amount of advantage, +3 to all our into death rolls. And that hopefully will be able to pick up some XP and pick up some command arsenal. So
we'll go against Riley.
Okay, here we go. Moved him over, and you rolled a 1-4. That 1-4 is going to be it's going to be a regroup 4. So now with a regroup 4, we automatically restore all our aces and all of our hit points, so long as we still have the 2 equipment carriers and the medical unit. So it's right at the start of the game. We don't need to worry about that. But you also have the 4 roll, and that 4 roll, Rusty, allows you to roll on Glory 4. I'm going to double check that to make sure it's not Salvage 4. It says, oh, it's your choice. Apply the little D6 result as a choice of Salvage or Glory. Now, Salvage can be used mostly to restore your weapons and body armor if it regresses. So at this point, you probably want to just roll a D6 for Glory.
Let's roll a D6 for Glory.
And sing it out for me if you would.
A 6.
A 6. So you can gain an XP and a random command arsenal. That's great, Rusty. Now, on the random command arsenal, give me another big and little D6, because I got 3 tables of 6 with them.
2, 5.
2, 5. Now, 2 is going to be Spec A. 5 is going to be the M18 smoke grenades. So we have located the M18 smoke grenades. What's nice about those, and that's a great roll, Rusty, whether you know it or not, is we can use those to drop the enemy awareness. So if we were to fight something that's going to push us to artillery or cavalry or all the way up to command, we can at least, with this command arsenal item, bring it back down just a little bit and maybe get a little less of the def mod in play. And that is your action. So I'm over to Tony. Tony, go ahead and give me a big and little, please.
Okay, let's see if this will work. And it didn't work. Okay, well, let me try this. It's 2 dice 6. There we go. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
3 and a 4.
A 3 and a 4 means we're going to be in cannonade, and a 4 result is going to put us at a howitzer. Well, we've been hit by a howitzer. Thank you, Tony. Take 2d6 damage, Tony, unless you have a safeguard of your head. And guess what? You do have a safeguard on your head. You have a safeguard on your head all the way up if we were artillery level. And so, but only if you would, also if you were in the big and little impact site of the enemy grid. Continue with the big D6 locked us to the death. Just for giggles, roll me a big and little D6 again, Tony. So we demonstrate this as well. 1, 3. So that howitzer hit right here, far away from where we are. Let's get you guys on the board here, shall we? And I need to remake that as Rusty. And give me another one. And let me remake that one as Tony. And so you guys need to put yourselves on the grid. I'm going to just drop you there, but you can be anywhere on the grid. I would not be forward, although we want to try to keep that command vehicle alive. Tony, you may want to step up to 3-2. I wouldn't recommend it, but it would be something very good to protect our command vehicle.
I would like to if I could actually move it, but I can't. So
how about if I do that?
Okay.
Okay, so the 3 of us now are on the command vehicle. Certainly could use that soak of Conrad. And we are going to come over to me, and we are locked in 2 to death. And so the first step of 2 to death, we are fighting the French. So we're going to put 12 French regiments onto the board. Do not be alarmed. Do not roll low. You roll low, they're going to move. You roll high, we're going to cower them.
That's a lot of French regiments.
That is a lot of French regiments. Well, the corps that we're fighting here has a lot of French regiments.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a corps. So, And here we go now with our situation. We are going to go ahead and I'm going to roll a D6 to see what the result is. And I'm going to add a total of 3 for the weapon I have. And here goes my D6. And I rolled a 1.
That's not very good.
Very impressive.
That's a terrible roll.
It's a terrible roll.
Well, a terrible roll to start there with that 1. So, but I add 3 to that because of my weapon, and that puts us at a situation of a lull. Now, the lull is not terrible. It has a nice little checklist that I go through. First, I have a choice of gaining salvage glory or removing one of my liabilities. Wow, that was pretty cool. I could remove my liability. No, I should take a glory roll. So let me roll a D6 for glory first. And a 6. Now, I can add Ace's luck and grenades, but I don't think I need to at the moment. So a 6 on glory, that's going to pick us up a big and little, and I get an XP. And the big and little was, did I see it? Yes, it was a 56. So going over to my salvage, a 56 is going to give us a choice off the list of 5. Wow. The heckler, the javelin. Yeah, the javelin is pretty ugly. We're going to take a javelin. Now, we can only get 2 of those over the course of play, but we might as well pick up the first one right here. I'm going to scroll over just so I can see my table. Move one of these guys over here. Let me put a couple of discs here, too, within grabbing distance. And we now have access to our javelin if we want to fire that. And I go into the next step of my lull here. I can exercise command arsenal, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to exercise this javelin right now. And with the javelin, I can fire down, and in any row coming off of me, I can kill everything in the row. And then if it either hits the edge of the map or it hits an impact point that I determine, like for instance, if I chose that as the impact position, it kills everyone around it. But how about if I fire the javelin, and they're sort of, gosh, it'd be better if I moved, but unfortunately it's only straight line. I'm going to fire the javelin just to prove my point here, and I'm going to kill out these 7 regiments by using the javelin. And that means we have also used one of our 2 javelins. Maybe I'm a bit trigger happy. Maybe I just like firing the javelin. And I go over to back to my list here. And it says count only adjacent regiments and damage and lose 1 Marine based on a setback roll. Okay, here comes my setback roll. Oh, big and little. Instead, it's a 3. So I lose I suffer setback of 3. With a setback of 3, we have lost Big Tex. The company loses 1 of the Marines from the heavy weapons platoon.
Oh, not Big Tex.
Yeah, Big Tex. Heavy weapons platoon. Actually, we're going to Big Tex Harris has gone down, unfortunately. Now, if we
already
lose
lost Lopez? Oh, man.
If we lose everyone in this company, then the next couple of casualties start to be us that go down. I don't anticipate that. I think we're probably going to end up with our hit points damage if we get that unlucky. But I'm going to go over to Rusty. You're next. Give me a single die 6 for to the death. We got 5 more regiments to destroy.
4 plus 3 is a 7.
4 plus 3 is a 7. Now, a 7 is a pretty good roll. Now, a 7 means that we're going to start to do things by the book, and it is going to be by the METT-TC sheet. So roll me a second D6 there, Rusty.
A 2.
A 2. If the company still has either the ISR, UAS, or the quadcopter, we gain the Fury. So we have gained the Fury now, and I move over to Tony. Now, if that should happen again, a result of a 7, it's going to result in somebody dying on our company. So, Tony, roll me a die and add 4.
A die and add 4. Let's say 6.
A 6. A 6 is going to be, that's not bad. Now, you could add your luck or your grenades to this and make it a 7 or an 8, but a 6 is not bad, and a 6 is going to be covering fire.
Covering fire? Okay.
You're going to destroy 1 regiment anywhere in the grid. Which one would you like to take off? Closest one to us, the guy in front of you?
Yeah, about 3-4.
Okay. I deleted guys when I should have just dragged them off. We're going to need them several times. And we took off 3-4, and I go to the next item on the checklist, and it says that exercise any command arsenal. Now, you could exercise our command arsenal, but it's probably all we have is the smoke grenades, and we are already at infantry. That's not going to help us. Okay. I'm overly explaining it. Take a roll for glory. Give me a D6 for glory.
That's a D6. Yep. Okay, a 3, and there's no bonuses to that, right?
That is correct. If you want to apply your luck, you could make it and restore any ace and gain an XP. Otherwise, it's you get your grenades back and you get an XP. How about you take that XP?
Okay.
And the last one is suffer tachyon decay. That's as bad as it sounds. Give me a D6 for that.
Okay. Tachyon decay as a 4.
A 4. We're going to lose a UAS or UGV. Tony, what did we lose? What did you end up shooting?
UAS, UGV off the Met TC list.
So my guess is you should shoot down either the drone here or the quadcopter here. They're both for surveillance. If we lose the mortar carrier, that takes away some of our potential firepower. If we lose this 30-millimeter gun, once again, takes away some firepower. If we lost the mortar carrier, we no longer will restore luck for the rest of the game. And if we lose the heavy weapons platoon carrier, we no longer restore grenades for the rest of the game. And of course, you do not want to, as I advised earlier, destroy the medical evac team, because that's a bad thing to lose, because we'll no longer heal hit points for the rest of the game.
Okay, let's lose the quadcopter.
We're going to lose the quadcopter. Well, the guys in the ISR team are going to be upset with you, Tony, but that's the breaks of the game. Where there's 4 regiments left coming over to me, I roll a D6. And I'm adding as well 4. That's a 9. 9 is going to be a result where I'm just going to destroy one guy. Rusty, over to you.
I got an 8.
An 8. Now an 8's not terrible. And the 8 is going to be heroics. So make a mandatory move to a different hex. So Rusty, where would you like to move to? Do you want to move back to 1-1, over to 1-2, over to 2-2?
I'll move to 2-2.
Okay. Rusty steps forward. He wants more.
Just to quickly clarify, I got 2 XP out of that last turn, right, when I rolled? Generating Glory got me 1, and then the other one of after I shot down the quadcopter, that gave me 1.
If the tachyon one said you gain an XP, gain an XP. Yes, that'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure that.
Yep. And destroy 1 regiment on the grid, Rusty. I'm just going to take the closest one to us. And we're going to go on to Rusty. You also roll for tachyon decay, and you're also adding 1 for our overall to our fury. But a D6 for you on tachyon decay, Rusty.
2.
A 2 means you're going to drop your body protection by 1. So you went from +3 to +2 with your body protection.
That's very sad.
Well, if one of us dies, you can always take our vest. I wanted to call it a flak vest, but it has to be all the way at +1 before it treats as a flak vest. The acronyms on these pieces of gear just go on forever. I don't know what the modern thinking is. But your armor has regressed probably back to just post-Vietnam War. And it comes over to Tony. Tony, give me a die 6, and you're adding 5 to it.
Okay. And we're still trapped or locked into the death?
We are, and you've killed 1 unit with a result of a 9+. Comes over to me, and I'm going to roll a D6.
So just kill 1 guy, and that's it? Destroy 1 regiment anywhere, exercise any... okay, there's no reason to do that. Never mind.
Correct, and so I have destroyed the last guy, and that's the way we're going to end that battle. We're going to cross off Brielle, even though it's French, he probably pronounces it differently. And with that action, we have entered a situation